I hope you like this UFO story. It's I love it. It's another one of my favourite ones, which they all are really. But it was recorded in 1952 in Korea, in Rosan, Sucheon. If I've said this wrong, I apologise to all the Korean people out there and everybody else because I haven't got a clue. That's what I think it is. Rosan, Sucheon, 1952, and it was in 29th of January, and it was clear sky, beautiful clear sky, and it was on a B-29, fully crewed and fully armoured. So they were aware they were looking outside, so what's their surroundings, and they've been flying quite some time. So there was high up in sky, about 20,000 feet. I'd say a lovely clear sky, and what approached them for some minutes. It wasn't just a flash; it was quite some minutes. It was basically a diameter. They describe it as like having a flame. You can see the Air Force's documents on it still, and they describe it like having a flame or something coming from behind it. It was bright, but as it got closer to them, they said it was more of a disc shape. But because it was so bright, initially they couldn't see it, but as it got closer, they say it was like a disc shape, around 3 foot diameter at best. And they were looking at it quite some time. The rear gunner had the best view because he was right on it. And then there was the fireman. I think that's what we call it, the fireman in the B-29s. And you were able to move around and he had a look at it. So the other pilots and everybody else, they had a look at it, but not as clear as what these fellas had. And quite some minutes went by and they were looking at it, describing it. And suddenly it shot off. Boom! As if 1 minute it was there and it was gone. Anyway, they radioed it in, and then that it was reported even to the flight controller. So there, it was all recorded there. And not only that, in exactly the same time as they saw it, it travelled 200 miles, and another B-29 picked it up. How about that? With the same position of the plane. So it went from that plane from the rear to another B-29 right at the rear. And so instantly, momentarily, it went 200 miles straight from that to another B-29. So whatever it was intrigued by this large military aircraft. I don't know if the second plane was loaded with weapons, and never got to find out. But the first one was, so presumably the second one was, and it wanted to have a peek what it was carrying, I guess. I mean, you see this great big silvery thing in the sky. It was that B-29 is immense. I saw one in the museum, absolutely huge plane. How they fly, I don't know, huge things. But anyway, they saw it, and the second people in the next B-29, they saw it for so many minutes as well and also recorded it. So how about that for sighting? And they describe it exactly the same. They say it was like a very bright glow, but as it got up to them, it was a disc shape and also 3 feet in diameter sort of shape. So it's exactly the same one as the other pilots' aircraft crew. But how about that? But how did it cover 200 miles instantaneous? What is it? It's 100% a UFO. I don't think that's man-made. I normally blame everything for being man-made, but even though I'm a UFO buff, but this one isn't. This is definitely a UFO. How about that sighting? And it was a lot of things happening in Korea at that time. I'll do some more, but in Korean War there was a very lot going on with UFOs. But this one in particular, I love this one. Even though it's a short little story, it's one of my best because it's clearly seen by 2 aircraft with an aircraft crew in clear skies, and it's proved that it gets from A to B instantaneous over 200 miles, and it's recorded on the flight paths. Beautiful and great story. And both the aircrew described it exactly the same. and say it wasn't just flying by and somebody taking a film. These sat there staring at it for quite some minutes, so I had a good look at it. Um, after they described it and it came out, it went a bit quiet. I'm not sure what happened to the people who reported it. Um, I'd like to know. I don't if somebody has any ideas. It'd be good, like, but it's like I say, it's one of my favourite ones. It's instant because we were two planes recorded it, and that makes it incredibly rare. Instantaneous and described it exactly the same. It's that funny glow. What's that funny glow behind it? It's I mean they describe it also having like a blue emitting a blue light, which is not unusual for saying this on a UFO. Yeah, but sometimes they say it's red, blue, green. They're not really sure. Maybe some mixture colours, but these are so close up on it, so it's definitely like emitting a blue light underneath it, and it had a small trail behind it, as if it's like flames. But as it got closer to them, it was more. You can see it there. Incredible, isn't it? So yeah, it was a very good sighting. Yeah, one of my favourite because of it. To be honest. Anyway, I hope you like that story. It's 1956, 29th of January in Korea. You can check it up. It's really, it's one of the good ones. Not much on it apart from that. I mean, you can make a mountain out of molehill and go on with it, but no, really, that's all we need to know of it. Because what more do we need to know? They're up there, aren't they? All right, God bless. Thanks for listening.